Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Stock Market Today for Wednesday, December 3rd. My name is Ken Shreve, and thanks for bearing with us. Had some technical difficulties there, but we think we got them straightened out. Again, my name is Ken Shreve. Nice day for small caps today and blue chips as well. NASDAQ Composite and S&P 500 underperformed a little bit today, but overall, another strong day for the stock market. Before we get into the day's action, let me bring in our news editor, Ed Carson, who has got three stocks to watch. Good afternoon, Ed.
Good afternoon. I want to take a look at a couple of names some of us you may be familiar with, Tesla and Robinhood, as well as Jones Lank's LaSalle, which is ticker JLL.
Okay, sounds good. We'll take a look at Tesla, Jones, Lang, LaSalle, and also Robinhood. Let's do that before we get into that. Let's take a look at the market here. Mentioned the Nasdaq Composite lagged a little bit here. Let's just take a look. Nasdaq ended with pretty paltry gain here of just 0.2%. But Ed, the real story was in small caps today. Interest rates down just a little bit. That 10-year Treasury yield edged just a little bit lower, but look at that Russell 2000 IWM bumping up against that 250 level. We can take a look at the Russell 2000 index itself here. Big percentage gain here, up 1.9%. Nice day for small caps today. Dow Jones Industrial Average also outperformed, didn't do quite as well as small caps today. Little mini breakout for the blue chip index. We just looked at the Nasdaq Composite, just a gain of 0.2%, and S&P 500 also lagged as well, but really strong market. Strong market and a nice rally off lows since that nasty downside reversal on November 20th. But this is what, 7 up days out of 8, and again, really nice day for small caps, Ed.
Yeah, really nice day for small caps. Good day for the market. The Nasdaq and S&P lagged because of concerns from Microsoft and maybe what that might mean for AI. But even those areas came off lows. Just a lot of strength out there. There's a lot of breadth. Definitely a time when you should be looking. There have been times this year where looking at 5, 10, 15 stocks probably would have been fine. I mean, it would have worked out. But this is not one of those times. I also say, look at the Russell 2000 that basically looks like a cup with handle. We've got the S&P sort of looks like a double bottom, and wow, what a surprise. We're seeing a lot of cups. We're seeing a lot of double bottoms. There's a lot of stocks out there that are sort of mirroring how these indexes are looking. One reason why we look at the index is because stocks are going to follow. Even the leading stocks will generally, will show some relationship to how the indexes look.
Yeah. The Dow had a pretty darn good day. We mentioned up 0.9%, and this is you mentioned Microsoft finished. Well, it did rally back near its session high, but it actually ended lower by about 2.5%. And just to explain what that headline was before the Open Information reported that there may be some soft demand for some of their AI wares, right, Ed?
That's right. And Microsoft denied the report, or at least they specifically denied the fact that they had lowered sales quotas. I mean, so we'll see how it all turns out. Maybe what they said was true. So, there's we'll just have to see. The market ultimately dealt with a lot of other things, and it could be a Microsoft issue. This may not have, even if it's true, even if all that report is true, it may be a reflection of problems from Microsoft rather than AI in general. So it'll be interesting to see Oracle's report next week, just because they're a big name and all that, just to get a sense of how
Hmm.
AI is doing.
Yeah. Big gainer in the Dow today was United Health Group by far. It's been a very weak price performer in the blue chip index, but United Health, a top gainer today, up 4.7%. Goldman Sachs, the second best performer in the blue chip index. Close to a breakout here, up 2.6% and very close to an all-time high. Taking a look at semiconductors, SMH, Ed, had another good day. This is looks like 8 up days in a row, if I'm counting correctly. Pretty impressive rally for chip stocks, and this comes, boy, when you got some high profile names like Advanced Micro Devices, AMD still struggling after a pretty nasty sell-off, struggling to recover its 50-day moving average. You have Nvidia, not a broken stock by any means, but it recently pulled back below its 50-day line. Not terribly far off its highs, but struggling underneath the 50-day moving average. You got Broadcom, not too far off highs, but the rally in SMH has been impressive. There's been a lot of other chip stocks, maybe under the radar chip names, that have been doing a lot of heavy lifting underneath the service, including Marvell Technology, which had a really nice earnings report late yesterday.
This is definitely one of those times when SMH might be the way to play the chip market, or something like a TSM, which makes all the AI chips, makes so many chips. So those two names, Taiwan Semi arguably is actionable today. I know I might have looked at it, but you guys looked at it yesterday. So don't
Hmm.
want to go too much. So there's some names that are more actionable. So SMH and TSM are ways to play it without, you may not be the biggest winner, but you're probably going to do pretty well with those kind of names.
Yep, yep. And then, of course, the broadening out of this market rally. It's been obviously a year for artificial intelligence stocks, but some have come under selling pressure. But how about the transportation stocks? We talked about this on IBD Live this morning, but the transportation ETF. IYT, nice breakout today. There's some airline stocks in here. There's some railroad stocks. Just really seeing a nice broadening out of market leadership here as we head into the end of the year.
Yeah, and then trucking and FedEx and UPS. So it's positive sign about the economy too. But this again, IYT might be one of the ways to play it, because a lot of the other names are like either coming way off lows or extended. So this is definitely a way that you could be playing resurgence in shipping and transportation.
Yeah, I mean, airlines, Delta
Mhm.
Airlines is in this, is in IYT, UAL. Even if you look at a airline ETF like JETS, I mean JETS, you can see this is in the early stages of breaking out. You can see some of the railroad stocks. Look at CSX making a move of 2.8%. This is a holding of IYT. You look at Norfolk Southern, NS. Not up as much. That's up 0.8%. So just a lot of broadening of leadership, and the home builders, Ed, you wanted to look at. XHB making a nice move today. We're going to hear from Toll Brothers early next week. Going to be one of the first home builders that we're gonna hear from. XHB has come nicely off lows, and ITB as well has made a nice rally as well. So maybe the home builders are going to start to participate. We'll have to see. And Toll Brothers, arguably, the best looking home builder at this point. And again, earnings coming out in 5 days. That's going to be Monday after the close. So it'll be interesting to hear what the home builders are going to have to say. You think the home builders are going to be able to provide leadership in 2026, Ed?
Well, it depends. I mean, if interest rates are going to be relatively low, that would be a real positive. I mean, home builders have done it. I mean, there was a year where home builders led the market, and then I think the following year they were the worst group. So home builders can be number one, not just a mediocre one. So yeah, you don't. This is definitely an area that you should be paying attention to. And yeah, I mean, some of these names are setting up, maybe flashing early entries, though. I do think Toll will be an important report next week.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, well, let's take a look at some individual stocks here, and we'll start with let's start with Tesla because Tesla made a pretty bullish move today above its 50-day moving average. It looked like it was in trouble here when it made that bad break of the 50-day moving average, and then it had a really sharp downside reversal on this day right here. And both of these declines came in pretty heavy volume, but Tesla has righted itself, and technically all of a sudden not looking so bad anymore.
Yeah, I mean, there was definitely a strong move and it hit resistance at the 50-day line. And this is one of those risk reward things where, again, I mean, something bad could have happened. This was an area where it could have sold off. So, yeah, you could have bought yesterday, or, and maybe gotten a slightly lower price, but when it got decisively above the 50-day line, definitely better. I'm not in love with this chart. I mean, it's just, it was a bad break. It's not really, I think I will take a look at Robinhood in a moment. I favor that one a little bit. Maybe it's just there's also the fundamentals which have been weaker. You're betting on some really big advances by Tesla, in self-driving and robotics that may or may not happen, or or what the timeline is. But so maybe I'm not in love with it. But clearly, this was a bullish move. Got above this level. Maybe ideally it would rise a little bit, then pause, form some kind of handle, tighten up a little bit because I'm
Hmm.
not super excited, but it's a rough around the edges, but it certainly could round into shape for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Just a different perspectives here. Take a look at the weekly chart for Tesla and see that it is back up near all-time highs here. So it's definitely a stock to keep an eye on here as it moves back above its 10-week moving average and less than 10% from an eye here. So a good one for the watch list here. Also going to take a look at Robinhood, which at last check was trying to get back above its 50-day moving average. A former leader that a lot of people, well, maybe thinking it's going to base here, and here it is, trying to get back above. Looks like it might have closed just a little bit above the 50-day line here. I'm going to turn on my pattern recognition here, and they see this is a good example of a double bottom pattern taking shape here. This is the second leg down here. A good wave of selling that served to shake out sellers here. There was a good shakeout. The second leg down undercut the first. Stock has rallied back, and trying to get back above the 50 days. So another good watch list name here. See if it can complete the base here.
Yeah, and I think there could be an early entry if you see is a little bit more strength. I would like to see, I mean, because you have to squint and look over. Is that above the 50-day line? And it is. But
Yeah,
if
just barely.
if it's not really above that, it's sort of like being one step outside of a haunted house. Do you really feel like you're safe from the monsters inside? Just run out into the street a little bit. So I think a little more strength, if that's clearly decisively above the 50 line, there'd be an early entry. And obviously there's the 150 level. This one has some really strong fundamentals. Bitcoin rebounding is helping, just like Bitcoin's tumble was probably a contributor to drop in Robinhood. But yeah, so not actionable, but it's right on the cusp. But yeah, so being a buy point.
Yeah, again, on a weekly perspective for Robinhood, this big price gain here, where it essentially more than tripled in price. No surprise there. That is just torrid earnings growth here. Several quarters in a row of triple-digit earnings growth, and you can see the top line growth was there as well, and it's earnings growth that fuels price performance. So. Robinhood, still a very compelling growth story in the market. Has always sold at a premium valuation, but the market is rewarding this company for just exceptional earnings growth. So some saying that Robinhood is not done yet, that there is still a fundamental story here that is driving growth. So we'll see if Robinhood is going to be able to complete this double bottom base and ultimately try to break out over this 150 level. So it's on its way. We'll see if it can continue to rally. It's going to need most likely the market breaking out to new highs to do that. So we'll keep an eye on Robinhood and see if it can muster a breakout. And then speaking of this expanding market leadership, we've seen some real estate stocks acting well here. So let's switch gears and take a look at JLL. This is a company called Jones Lang LaSalle, a big liquid name here. And another example of a double bottom base. You see this low of 274 undercut a prior low of 281.40, and similar pattern to Robinhood, but this one actually, rose over the 300 level and crossed that middle here. So this is a breakout, but a stock that is still holding in a buy zone here, Ed.
Yeah, nice action here. Just sort of after running all that way. I mean, I can understand some people saying, "Well, I'm not sure if I'm ready to go." The market was just starting to look a little bit stronger, and it's just paused right here, pretty bullishly. So, I think you could buy it here. I guess you could treat last week's high as a high handle, but I think just buying here makes sense. This one has some solid earnings. I mean, the growth I think is supposed to slow down a little bit, but this one is, can make some nice advances here. And, if housing and if the interest rates are low, you can definitely see this as a tailwind for this sector as well. Yeah, if you go to a weekly chart, it's
Hmm.
made a nice advance already, but it's paused. It's set up, and it paused. The relative strength line is near highs. This one's probably, when on a day like this, if you had all AI stocks, now maybe it ended up okay for today, but there was a time when some of those things were down 2, 4%, 5%. It's nice to have some names that are solid performers, that are sort of somewhat separated from that. I think this is a really good market for a diversity of leadership, not just diversifying for diversifying sake, but finding the leading stocks in various sectors. And I think this one definitely qualifies.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You can see the real estate development industry group ranks 44 out of 197. So it's a top performing industry group, and no surprise when you see so many stocks with excellent relative strength ratings in the group. So a lot of stocks showing relative strength in the market. No surprise to see a high ranking group in the market here. Now, we do, I always forget to go over stocks reporting earnings after the close. I'm not going to forget this time around. What are we looking at in after hours? Add a few names to take a look at.
Yeah, there are a few. One is Snowflake. This
Uh
one's
huh.
not doing great.
Okay.
Um,
SNOW.
and this one, I mean, it beat views apparently. I'm not sure how the guidance was versus expectations. Obviously, somebody didn't like something. This had been holding up very well. Looks like it's going to fall below, buy point, fall below the 50-day line. Salesforce CRM, that one's just trying to bounce off a 17-month low, but it is rebounding today. It's a positive sign for software in general, so nice to see that. So that was up like 5%. It's got a long way to go. I don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
There's Five Below, which that's up modestly. Uh, that one is that specialty discounter is maybe
Oh,
close to an early entry
my
for Five
chart
Below.
is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. My chart kind of froze
No,
up
no,
on
I
me here.
got you. And
Yeah.
so that's just one that could be interesting out there. And those are the biggest names that are reporting, that out there. So um, there's still that we're finally winding down an earnings season. A few more names this week and next week, but market's in really good shape.
Yeah, we do have Broadcom reporting next week, as well as Sienna. So we're starting to get into the quiet period. Sorry, I couldn't bring up the Five Below chart, but I will stop it right here, and kind of froze up here. But I will end it right here, and thank you, Ed, for your insight as usual. And there we go. That'll do it. That'll do it for today. So, Ed, thanks a lot for your insight as usual. Thank you very much. And that will do it for today. It'll be Rachel Fox in the chair for IBD Live tomorrow. So thanks very much for watching for today. And if you haven't checked out IBD Live yet, just go to investors.com/IBD Live, and we will be on the air tomorrow morning as usual, starting at 6:20 a.m. That's Pacific time, 9:20 a.m. Eastern time. It will be Ed and Alexis Garcia tomorrow for the Stock Market Today video. I hope you have a great afternoon, everyone, and we will see you back here tomorrow. Take care.